Welcome to Dreams and Riddles. I am Linda Riddle. Today I want to talk to you about snakes in dreams. And specifically, I'm going to be interpreting a dream here that was submitted to Dreams and Riddles involving snakes. They're some of the most unnerving dreams we can have, but believe it or not, dreams involving snakes are some of the most common dreams that people have. So hopefully by the end of today's episode, we'll take a little bit of that unnerving feeling out of these types of dreams for you. First, let me get to today's dream. And this came to us from Esther in Florida. And here's what she said. I dreamt last night about an extremely long rattlesnake. Coiled up, it stood taller than me, and I'm 5'4". I could also see that about 3 to 4 of its feet were not coiled. I couldn't really make out its head exactly. The snake was hidden on this path by some bushes. I saw it and warned everyone with me to be aware. We walked a little further, and there was black sand and more snakes. Lots of them. The long rattlesnake moved and bit someone in my group. It was like a sneak attack, like the snake sought this person out specifically to attack them. In the next scene, we were inside a church, and I was warning everyone about the long snake and the others and other snakes to be careful of. And then I woke up. The entire dream was in black and white. Do you have any ideas of what this could mean? Thank you so much for sharing your dream with us, Esther. First, let me say this, okay? To really understand the meaning of snakes in dreams, we have to understand, first and foremost, that dreams are highly symbolic. We tend to want to approach them literally, and we engage our logic, but when we do that, the meaning of the dream is lost. We have to think in terms of symbolism. So when it comes to a dream like this, where a snake is involved, the question then becomes, what does a snake typically represent? When we think of snakes, where does our mind immediately go? What are some of their characteristics? What are they known for? Those kind of things. And then that'll start giving us a little bit of a clue. You know, I think of the common idiom that we've all heard, right? Like, oh, that person is just a snake in the grass. What do we think of, though, when we think of that term? Like, what is implied in that? We immediately get the picture of someone who is maybe kind of acting a little suspiciously, like they're maybe a little bit of a sneaky person. We may think of somebody who's treacherous and cannot be trusted. We get the picture of activity that is maybe underhanded or deceptive, maybe even hidden, which could be worse than all of that. But if you really think about it, that's kind of how snakes operate. They're really, really good at blending in with their environment so as to remain undetected. And even if we go back all the way in time, right, to the beginning of time and the story of Adam and Eve, we see that deception was actually present in the form of a snake. And herein lies the clue to understanding, or to start understanding, the meaning of our dream. Most of the time in dreams, snakes represent some sort of deception or falsehood. And that is certainly the case with this dream. You can almost walk through this dream with the dreamer and get the sense that this rattlesnake and all of these others, like, this is not a good thing. So back to the dream that you shared with us, okay, Esther, here's the good news in all of this. The dream is meant to show you that you have the ability to identify deception, to spot it, and to call it out for what it really is. You're able to see it, like it is glaringly obvious to you. That's why the snake stood so tall. It was so big, you were like, how can anybody miss this? Like it's larger than life. It was huge, but it was so obvious to you. And that is probably one of the ways that you operate. That's probably one of the ways that you've been gifted, really, to be able to identify deception. But the better news of that is that you also have a heart to share that with other people, those that are willing to listen, because you have a heart to help people stay away from things that could potentially harm them. The dream shows that throughout. And so this is actually, I mean, as unnerving as it might have been to wake up from this dream, it's actually a really, really good dream. So if I could do this, I'm going to divide your dream into 3 main sections because I think that helps us really interpret it and kind of keep it simple to look at the dream and just understand its simple meaning. And that's just this. You have been given 3 key areas of influence where you are able to help people, to bring truth, to speak truth into people's lives and help them identify areas of deception that could potentially harm them. In the very first scene of the dream, you were walking along a path with people that you knew. This is a picture of you in community, just kind of going about your everyday life, right? Like not really a whole lot going on. That just speaks of your day in and day out kind of community that you are a part of. In the second scene of the dream, you were now walking with a community of people again, but this time you were walking on black sands. And there was not just one big rattlesnake, there was multiple snakes, okay? Now, if you really think about it, how do we get black sands? That can only come from a volcano, right? Like typically that's a result of volcanic activity. So when you think again, metaphorically of what that could be a picture of, that shows you coming alongside people in a season of life that may be really difficult, where there has been an eruption of some sort, where things have blown up, okay? And they are maybe going through a very difficult season. Where things that were maybe operating, if you think about a volcano, it kind of operates underneath the surface and then it erupts. So this is the stage of life that you are now in this scene of the dream. That's where you are walking alongside people. But again, you're helping them to identify areas of deception, areas of falsehood. It could be areas of just faulty thinking, like bad trains of thought that have kept people in bondage or have kept people just kind of stuck in a specific arena or in a habit or anything like that. That's what the second scene represents. And then if you go to the third scene, now you are also in a community, okay, but this is your community of faith. You were in a church with the people that you knew. And again, you were warning them of the big rattlesnake and several other snakes. So you were just, again, telling people, helping them identify, speaking truth into their lives. Another scene just where you are able to come alongside and speak truth to people and help them stay away from the things that could potentially harm them. One thing I did want to point out, going back to the second scene really quick, that was the only scene in the whole dream where somebody got bit. And then I think that that's I wouldn't say it's a warning, but it could kind of be a little bit of just know that when you're walking alongside people like that, I said this earlier in the dream, if you caught it, that you can speak truth into people's lives who are willing to hear it. Not everybody is going to be willing to accept the truth. Not everybody is going to be able to kind of let go of whatever those patterns or falsehood or deception is. And you have to understand that sometimes people will unfortunately get bit by whatever is trying to entangle them. But the good news is that it didn't seem through the dream like that was a lethal thing. So even though it might have hurt, hopefully the person or the people are just able to kind of see truth eventually and keep on walking. The last thing that you said in the dream was that the entire dream was in black and white. And I tend to kind of go in one direction with that whenever I hear about black and white dreams. But as I meditated on this dream specifically, I got the sense that has to do with the way that you see things. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why you are gifted in this area of being able to spot deception, able to call it out for what it truly is, because you see things in black and white. Again, it's very obvious to you. Things are very clear to you. It's all about the facts, right? It's a black and white kind of issue. So, and honestly, sometimes for people who have come from pain or from, backgrounds where maybe those lines were a little blurred, a lot of times they need people in their lives that will help them see clearly what is true, clearly what is false. And I get the sense that just from thinking about this dream and meditating over how you were walking alongside people and how you would have been given this dream to show you that, that's the sense that I get, that you have that ability to kind of see things in black and white, help people, and hopefully help to keep them away from things that could potentially harm them. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for submitting that dream to us. Again, snakes are typically in dreams a picture, a symbolism of something deceptive going on, of some sort of falsehood, some sort of lies. You have to look at the rest of the dream to kind of tell you specifically what that is. In this case, it wasn't even that specific as to what that deception was. It's more a matter, this dream was given to this dreamer so that she could see her place of influence, that she has 3 key areas of influence where she can help people be free from that deception. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. And until next time, keep dreaming.